as a layman, why should I take Veda as pramana?
So this is a very deep topic. Veda is called pramana because of the reason that nobody ever created it. It's a universal truth. If we do not understand ourselves and we don't understand the world around us, we are practically leading a meaningless life.
Hi, welcome to KC Talks. In the series of podcasts on Madhwacharya that we are doing with Shri Sundarji, we are now entering into the life history of Shriman Madhwacharya. And has very beautifully explained us on who is Madhwacharya, and it looks like a trailer to me. Because we wanted to do this episode before, but he covered the entire episode telling Madhwacharya is Bhima, Hanuma and Vayu, and he told us who Vayu is. So let us now get into the life story of Madhwacharya. Hare Srinivasa.
Hare Srinivasa. Acharya Pavanosmakam Acharyani cha Bharati Devo Narayana Shrishaha Devi Mangala Devata.
Yeah, you already explained it in the last podcast. What does it mean?
Right.
Beautiful. So as Hanuman served Lord Rama, Bhima served Lord Krishna. So Ananda Tirtha, Madhwacharya, came in Kali Yuga as a saint to serve Vyasa Bhagavan.
Right.
Is my understanding right?
Absolutely. So the background to the Avatara was that it was found that at that time, whatever we had as the Indian scriptures, right, they had got extremely distorted in the way they were getting interpreted. So when we say distortion, what was happening was this. Number one, the Vedas were not treated as the ultimate proof, whereas the Sanatana Dharma very clearly says that the Vedas are the ultimate proof.
Okay.
They are Nirnayaka. They close things.
What does Nirnayaka mean?
Nirnayaka means it is decisive.
Okay.
So whenever you have a doubt whether it is this or that, because both sides of a particular perspectives, appear to be equally strong, then you need something which is Nirnayaka. Why you need it to be Nirnayaka? Why don't we leave it in that state and keep on having a sense of debate? Because, we all love to be intellectual and keep on thinking about things.
Yes.
There's no harm in that. But when, just imagine I tell you this. You go and sit in a taxi and you just sit and the driver asks you, where do you want to go? You say, no, I'm here to explore Hyderabad. Just go wherever you want. He'll just stop and he say, please get down because there's no way to, I will not know where to go.
Okay.
So you need, imagine for such a short journey, you need a destination.
Yep.
You may want to explore Hyderabad, but you have to tell him something. Take me to Qutub Minar, go. Then he will take you there. The thing is that imagine in such a short journey, you need a destination. If you are taking the destination all the way up to salvation, moksha, which is the ultimate purushartha, you need to be very, very, very clear.
Okay.
And I'm adding these three varies with a lot of responsibility. It's not just that I'm exclaiming something. One needs to be on a firm foundation. The reason is today we have taken the human form after crores taking birth in crores and millions of births. Before this, in the form of animals, fish, and all that, and we've sort of evolved to become human beings.
Yes.
And only the human being has that capacity of what is called gnana or knowledge. All others have knowledge to the extent of being able to survive and eat and drink and breed and so on. But only the human being has got that unique quality of being able to think. That's why, despite being a very fairly weak species, the human race today dominates the earth because of its of that knowledge that we have. So that knowledge has to be firm. It has to be free of any confusions, and it has to be free of any myths that had unfortunately crept by that time. So India is a land of philosophers, all the way from the 3rd century. There is evidence to prove that there were different philosophers who came. propounded and explored their own the Indian philosophy and Sanatana Dharma in their own way.
Okay.
And all of them had their own valid arguments. But with each subsequent spiritual leader who came, the previous thoughts were getting questioned, and
Okay.
it was the goal therefore was getting reset every time to different to mean different things.
Okay.
So then came the Jaina and the Buddha philosophies, and that led to monoism, that is Advaita, which was propounded by Shri Adi Shankaracharya. And then came Ramanujacharya, who propounded the Visishtadvaita philosophy. Till then, it was, before Shankaracharya, it was about a Avaidika manner of treating philosophy. That means Vedas are, they actually called it Pippalika Rekha, meaning
Okay.
that if an ant was to walk on a rice floor, it will make some symbols, right? Make some random symbols. So Vedas seem to be that. They don't seem to have any meaning at all.
That is what the Jainas and Buddhas.
Buddhas propounded. So they are Avaidika. They never accepted the Vedas as a spiritual text at all.
Beautiful point, Sundarji. So it is not only Buddhas and Jainas, all the Vaisheshikas, Mimamsas, they also did not believe in Vedas?
No, so there's a mix. Some of them accepted it, some of them did not accept it as an ultimate proof.
Okay.
Some people accept it as a limited proof. Some people did not accept it as proof at all.
Okay.
They said yes, it seems to be a scriptural work and it can be given its due place, but it is not Nirnayaka. Then of course the famous Charuvaka Mata came,
Yes.
which was all about if I can't see it, I won't believe it. So Pratyaksham, only Pratyaksha is the ultimate truth, and so on. So we'll come to that epistemology little later. So Madhvacharya took incarnation at that time. So his main purpose was to correct and purify our understanding of the Sanatana Dharma,
Okay.
and bring back the Vedas, the Puranas as the center, on the center stage, as the ultimate proof of whatever we want to understand about three things basically, which is Brahman, the nature of Brahman, nature of God, nature of the soul, the Jiva, and the nature of Jagat. So if you imagine that as a triangle, this is what everybody is dealing with. So Madhvacharya came and said, okay, how do we explain these three entities, and how do we explain the interrelationship between all of them? Now why this is important is, we are all Jivas, and we are now a part of the Jagat, or the world around us. If we do not understand ourselves and we don't understand the world around us, we are practically leading a meaningless life.
Okay.
Now, when you are doing this, the obvious question which comes, right? You mentioned in the beginning of this program that you got very curious listening to something. Curiosity is a very innate behavior of all human beings.
Yes.
Human race has achieved whatever it has in different fields because of that curiosity.
Jignasu.
The ultimate curiosity we will all have is that what is this world around us? Are we being controlled by someone? If so, what is the nature of that person? When you get into the realm of this, that is when you get into the realm of what is called philosophy. So philosophy, it has to deal with the nature of Brahman, soul, and the Jagat.
Okay.
Otherwise it is not philosophy.
Okay.
If somebody is, let us say, we say like this, oh, he's a very philosophical person. He runs a blood donation camp. That's a social good, which is absolutely very, very important. But it is not philosophy, because you have to deal with that topic of nature of Brahman, if it has to be philosophy. So Madhvacharya came and he reset all these three things in the context of mutual consistency of all the religious texts we have.
Okay.
So what it basically means is that if you interpret Vedas in different ways, they all should give the same meaning wherever they come, whatever is being said. One part of a text cannot contradict another part of a text.
Okay.
So we all know Bhagavad Gita, for example. Imagine the shloka number 17 is significantly contradicting what is written in 255, then how will we take it as a religious text?
Yes.
No body of language will accept it. Right? In one part, in second standard, we were taught number system in a different way. All the way up to PhD in mathematics, the number systems don't change.
Yes.
That is why it is called a perfect science, mathematics.
So you mean to say, for a simple person,
Yeah.
that all the religious texts and all the Puranas, Vedas, they are in synchrony.
Yes.
They are not ambiguous in nature.
No, they are not ambiguous in nature. If a person may not understand it immediately. Everybody may not understand it equally well, but that does not mean the text is ambiguous. It is our own limitation. If we read the text in the context of what Madhvacharya has expressed, it is very, very simple and very, very clear.
Very nice.
Why? Because Madhva philosophy, as we had discussed in one of the earlier episodes also, is Tattvavada. It's very easy to state the things where things are, rather than the way you want to imagine it to be. So, Madhva philosophy is probably the most simple philosophy to understand. And there's one more reason, Krishna, because of which Madhva philosophy is probably the easiest to understand.
Okay.
Madhvacharya introduced a concept called anubhava siddha.
Okay.
Which is nothing but validation through experience.
Okay.
What is your experience? You are a soul and there is Brahman. Have you ever felt that you are Brahman? Have you ever felt that you are Paramatma or you are the Almighty? If you have not felt it, how will you accept that the soul and the Brahman are the same? So he questioned these things, and he ultimately said that you can put a lot of systems in place to decide on whether something is acceptable or not. But the ultimate proof is nothing but your sakshi, which is nothing but your conscience, which will never misguide you.
Swa-anubhava.
Swa-anubhava. So whatever you experience, it is the ultimate proof.
Beautiful. So he is an only Acharya who is giving our existence a greater value,
Yes.
rather than proving something from an abstract, and then asking us to believe whatever he says.
Yes. So what it's a very scientific system. He gives you the 3 proofs, and we will talk about it in detail. He talks about pratyaksha, that means whatever you can perceive through your senses, and the other one is anumana, which is nothing but by inference. The third one is agama, which is nothing but the agama, meaning the Vedas, and the Puranas, which are in consonance with the Vedas. They actually say the same thing. All those are the body of knowledge that we have is nothing but agama. So these are the 3 proofs, and beyond the 3 proofs, he talks about anubhava.
Swa-anubhava. Very beautiful. So every jiva is being acknowledged here.
Yes.
And every jiva is being given a keen importance.
Yes, and every jiva is unique compared to something else. So we will talk about that Panchabheda, where every jiva is unique in its own way. It may appear that we are all same. We are not same. There is an inherent hierarchy of souls.
Okay.
There is not just difference, there is a hierarchy of souls. So no 2 souls are similar in any ways.
Very nice.
Even the 2 leaves of the same branch in a tree are different.
Yeah. That no 2 stones look alike.
Yes.
In the matter, there is always diversity.
Yes. And
similarities can be there, but definitely there will be some change at some microscopic level.
Yes.
So that is beautiful. On the Bheda concept, it is very, very beautiful thing. We are all getting into philosophy, Sundarji. We are eagerly waiting to understand who Madhvacharya is.
Yes.
Because we understood that he was Bhima, he was Hanuma, he was Vayu. But then we want to go deep into, like biography of a saint.
Sure.
Like that, we want to understand Madhvacharya in our next podcast.
Sure. So I, in some ways, I'm sort of constrained to put that as a background,
Hmm.
because whatever we discussed as a part of this biography, we would like to focus on the philosophical milestones. If you're
Okay.
talking about, say, if I ask you the life of a cricketer,
Hmm.
so what will you say? He made debut in so and so match.
Hmm.
Then he hit his first 50. Then he hit his first 100.
First century he
First
achieved in
century
this
he achieved.
stadium.
All that are
Hmm.
his milestones, right?
Hmm.
So for a guru like Madhvacharya, his life has got a lot of other aspects, no doubt. But I think his philosophical milestones are simply towering, and you have to just listen to it to believe it. And those are the basis of all that is what we just discussed.
Very
So
nice.
I think we've set the ground running to understand his life and his contributions to the philosophical world much more in the subsequent sessions.
Superb. Very nice, Sundarji. I have a question. So you are a born Madhva Brahmana from a South India. You understood the cultural fabric, moral fabric here. It is very different. And you told Madhvacharya is an Acharya who have established what is the real essence of Veda. As a layman, why should I take Veda as Pramana?
So this is a very deep topic. Veda is called Pramana because of the reason that nobody ever created it. It's a universal truth. So whatever is the purport of the Vedas, it is a universal fact. Nobody wrote it. Nobody doctored it. The mistakes, the inconsistency of a writer, which sometimes can creep into whatever has been written, does not exist. You may say, how can something be created without a creator? It was not even created by God. So Apaurusheya means there are many things which are Apaurusheya. If I ask you, who created time? When did time start?
Anadi.
Right? When does space end?
That
It's
also is
Anadi.
infinity.
So it has been there. Did anybody create space? Did anybody create time? Nobody. Forget that. Those are very abstract concepts. Let's look at numbers. Who created numbers? Isn't it a universal concept?
Who created numbers actually? Aryabhatta gave it a name.
He gave it a name. He said one, this is one. So let us say before Aryabhatta, didn't people count?
They counted, yes.
They counted. They may not have called it 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. He has given it a special significance. But the fact that the natural number system always existed in nature. Those are they are like airwaves which exist. And they are caught by people in a certain way. So for example, your cell phone is tuned to a particular frequency. If I call your number, it will go and connect with that number.
Yes.
Right? So they always existed. That means your phone and my phone are emitting those frequencies even otherwise. But when I connect, this phone connects to that phone. So the people who actually saw this, the Devatas and Rishis, are people who are called Drishtaras. Drishtara. The Veda Drishtara.
What does Drishtara mean?
Drishtara means people who are qualified to catch those frequencies which exist in the cosmos.
Okay.
And they say that, look, I'm able to hear one sound, which is, this Veda Sukta. So for this Veda Sukta, I'm able to hear, and they are able to write it in that form and assimilate it. So those days, the form of writing was not there. They understood it and they passed it on to generation to generation.
That is the reason it is called Sanatana, is it?
Sanatana, because there's no end to that. There's no start date.
I got a doubt.
Yes.
Languages are created?
No. Varnas were not created. Varna is also Nitya.
Varna is Nitya.
Varna is Nitya.
Language is also
Languages has been created over a period of time. But Varna, the letters, the sound has not been created by anyone.
Letters? So what do you mean by letters?
For example, different languages have different alphabets. Those alphabets have been created later. But let us say, for example, you want to say Ba. Ba existed. You have named it Ba by giving it a certain symbol.
Okay.
You have symbolized it.
Okay.
That's all you have done.
Sounds existed is what you're telling.
Yes. So it's not an invention. It's a discovery. Yes. It's an invention and a discovery.
Sanskrit is created, or Sanskrit is also not created by anybody?
Sanskrit as a language that we speak today has been created. It is something which has been adapted and it has been given a system of grammar, etc., so that we have a uniform understanding of it. But the Vedas predate even Sanskrit as a language.
Then how Vedas language is Sanskrit?
It is a different Sanskrit altogether. It is a Daivi Sanskrit which is there, which has got its own grammar. That grammar is not the same. Vedika grammar is not the same as the grammar rules which apply in general Sanskrit language.
Okay.
So coming back to Madhvacharya's understanding of this, he gave these perspectives. The best part here is what is coming now, Krishna, which is he never said all this saying that these are my discoveries. If you look at a Madhva Shastra Grantha, about 40 to 50% of that will be quotation. It says whatever he says, he says it is written in Skanda Purana. It is written in this Veda Sukta. This particular word in this particular chapter, he quotes the whole shloka itself and says it is written there. So why are we going round and round and round when whatever we are saying is not consistent with the Puranas, which everybody has accepted. All forms of philosophy except the three Vedanta schools, they all accept Vedas as proof. They all accept the Puranas.
Beautiful. So now I have understood, because in order to know what Madhvacharya's accomplishments are or his philosophy, we need to understand what Veda Apaurushetva means.
Yes.
Then only if Veda has a value and Veda is considered by you as a significant authority and a systematic proof, then you can dive deep into this.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Sundarji, for making us understand about the Veda Apaurushetva, which is very much required to understand Madhvacharya. But we will do a separate podcast on what Veda Apaurushetva as a total subject. Thank you so much, Sundarji.
Thank you.
Hare Srinivasa.
Hare Srinivasa.